Oh, are we live? I usually try to give myself like a few seconds, but I think I just up and started it, which is totally fine. So hello, my name is Raven. If you haven't been here before, if you have, welcome back. This is the New Year edition, I guess, of Slow Sewing Sundays, and man, do I feel slow today. I hope you all had a really good new year. I feel like I'm just starting to feel like myself, but as far as like any like new habits or anything like that, they haven't kicked in yet. If I'm being honest. And I don't know what it is up with this thing right here. Like it's usually in my face, but it just feels a little more rude than usual. But anyway, we're gonna be friends. It'll be fine. Um, yeah, so got my tea. It's really piping hot. Um, and I have a project that has been on my table way too long. Oh, I forgot to bring the example of what I'm basically working on, but I've mentioned it a couple times before. But basically, like a reusable bag. I use them for they're perfect size for like reusable grocery bags. So I made a few of these like um man, I was like a machine. I made like probably like 6, 7, maybe 8 cuz I definitely made some for friends and some for my mom. And then I kept like maybe 2 for myself. But the one that I'm making now, and I only at this point like I only know where one of them is, but that's the one I use all the time whenever I'm getting groceries and whatnot. But the one that I am making for myself, and that's probably why I'm taking so long to make it, one of the reasons is because it's for me. But I thought it would be cool to make one that was quilted and to basically use up some fabrics that I already had. No, I have plenty of fabrics and I actually like like no, I don't know how much pattern matching it is, but mixing up different prints and whatnot and just seeing what kind of happens. And I had the idea of maybe doing like a little, I do the running stitch to kind of quilt the, to do the quilting together. So I started that, but honestly, every time I work on it, I like the idea, I think, of hand sewing a lot more than maybe doing it. I think that's kind of what the conclusion is. I don't mind doing hand sewing sometimes. I particularly actually don't mind doing hand sewing when I know, and this is crazy, I know, when it's like a hem or something. I guess because um, it's when I do like a catch stitch or basically one of those kind of invisible type stitches by hand and on the hem. One, I feel like you can like you see the light at the end of the tunnel. Like you see that like you're starting, but clearly like this is like a small space, especially if it's like a sleeve or like a the bottom cuff on a pant hem, and it's like okay, well this won't take long. But with this, however, maybe I should show a little bit of what I am talking about. So this is actually very zoomed out, so maybe I should bring it back to myself. Um, but something that's a little bigger, like so, um, every time I start, I'm like, okay, this is fun, and then I'm like, after probably about 20 minutes, I'm like, ooh, my hands, my fingers. It's just the kind of muscle memory I guess I'm not really used to, and plus I don't know. Honestly, like if I take about 2 good hours and really sit down with this, which I actually tried earlier today, um, and I did it while I was still in the bed because I've been lazy. Um, don't judge me. And but I was like, I can sew. I could still be like in front of the television. I can be in bed. I ended up sewing one stitch into like my blanket, which kind of has an open weave. And I was like, oh no. And I didn't realize that till, I obviously was, way down the road hand sewing. And so I just was like, I don't have the patience for this snip snip. So I snipped a little bit of my blanket and then like tried to like tie a little knot so the blanket wouldn't start crawling and unraveling. So we'll see how that goes in the next wash. That should be fun. And then I ended up sticking myself. Um, and I guess I think it was just because, like, you know how you, like, kind of force yourself into something when you're maybe not into it in the moment? It's kind of like the equivalent of if you're sewing something, and even if you feel like, I gotta finish, I gotta keep going, but if you're, like, tired or if you're hungry, you need to just stop, you know? So, um, yeah. So basically, I guess I'm saying all that to say that's what I'm going to be working on right now. As my disclaimer, like I say, of all things, when I'm doing these things live, I know myself, there's going to be no way I'm going to finish. But just a little bit of progress is all we can hope for. That's really all. That's really what these things are about, honestly. And if you're on the other side, you don't have to make progress. It's just about the art of hanging out, sewing a little bit, shooting the breeze. Yeah. So we're gonna get a little bit done. I don't want to put a timeline on myself because I'm not good at those. But I definitely would like to see this finished. And if I'm being super frank with you, because let me bring you down to the worktop here. So, well, I don't know how well you'll be able to see this, but yeah, probably not really well. But I was doing great. My stitches, oh man, you really can't see that much at all. But trust, my stitches were looking amazing. And then I got super wonky like right here. And that stitch right here, this was my I don't care anymore stitch. So that I feel like that's where I'm at. I just wanted to see it done. I just want my bag already. You know what I mean? And I at one time I cared, and now I just want it done. So, because to be frank with you, I almost started to be like, you know what? I'm gonna just set my sewing machine to a basting stitch and just run the rest of these so it won't take so long. But I'm gonna refrain from doing that. I'm gonna continue the hand stitching because honestly, it doesn't matter how wonky it is. Um, the fact that I feel like that I, cobbled some strange and weird looking fabrics together organically and kind of did this like hand running stitch together. And then when I actually, assemble the bag, and that will obviously be with the machine, I think I'll just be really proud of it and really glad that, I took a little bit of my time. And it's like that one meme or the thing that I've seen on Instagram, and like who's gonna know? Like nobody. So, and you know what? Frankly, it's none of their business. You know what I mean? This is a secret between me and y'all. They don't have to know. You know what? They don't have to know what's in my bag, who made my bag, how my bag was made, any of that. That's none of their business. It's just really hot. And um, it's the jasmine green tea uh, from an Amazon brand, and I'm not really happy with it, but it is what it is, and it doesn't matter. So, okay. All right. I think because I've already kind of done some of this today, I'm like, ooh, I don't wanna do with you again. But you know what? We'll be all right. It'll be good. Um, it's just not even really that much. I'm literally complaining more than what it's worth. Um, it's gonna be great. But anywho, I hope it doesn't look like anybody's here live, which honestly, understood. Um, Especially because again, my times are so random. Um, and that's something I definitely need to figure out in the new year. Like, great that we've picked a day and that we've been quite consistent. I was going to say fairly consistent, but we have been consistent. And now I need to kind of more nail down a time. And then I think that will be great. The struggle. Okay, let me see. Let me invite you to my struggle. Um, yes. Oh no. I'm sorry. I think I've been sharing things and thinking that I've been um showing you things as well, but I never switched the camera for you for your view. So that's fun. Um New year, old me. Let's see. Okay. Um well, that's no better. No better at all. So you may as well just look at me. Look at me while I'm struggling. Also, I haven't forgotten about the other project that I'm working on, which is a dress. Um, I haven't really gotten too much farther um, from when the last time that we actually did a project together. The last time we did a project together was when I had a whole party in the chat. I had like 4 people. I didn't know where they came from. It was a good time, and apparently a good time to do the let's say the Zoom, the live apparently. And maybe too just because it was a perfect trifecta. It was like, um, yeah, it was Christmas Eve. Everybody's around. Good time. I hope all of you also stayed well um, during the last few weeks, so you actually like was able to like fully enjoy your holidays. I did get a little under the weather while I was in Texas, just like a head cold type situation. I was a little, which I hated, but I also hated because, of course, like I want to be around my parents, they want to be around me. I knew I didn't have COVID or anything, so I was like, man, if I get my parents sick, like I'm gonna just gonna feel all kinds of awful. But that wasn't the case. They stayed strong. It was just me and my significant other, my roommate. Um, we both got sick, and we were just looking pitiful together. Um, yeah. So, but it's like that sometimes, but didn't regret the visit. So there's that. Um, are we gonna be able to do this? Can I do this? I think that's the thing too. I had just had so many. I think because also when I do hand stitching, I'm usually using. This is a very big needle for me, and then the thread is thick and out of control, and so it's the sashiko. I'm not sure how you say it, but it's that Japanese technique where you're doing like big stitches, like usually like a running stitch or a decorative, maybe easy cross stitch or something. Um, So just getting it started sometimes I have a little trouble with. That's also why I keep kind of trimming the end, hoping that I can have a little more luck getting this through the eye. It's not that I can't see it. This eye is quite large. It's just that this sashiko thread or sashiko thread, imagine like six regular threads and they're like kind of whipped together. So sometimes when I'm trying to put it through the hole, they just start like separating like bye y'all, you know what I mean? And it's not so sometimes, maybe three will come through and not the rest of them, and it's like, okay, well, that's not gonna work, guys. um, this is a team sport. We gotta all get through this together. But I actually think it's kind of funny. Like, there's a part of me that gets a little like, oh no, especially when I'm on live and then I'm doing things and things don't pan out or work out well. But then it's like, you know what? This is just how it is for me sometimes. uh, things don't go as planned all the time. Oof. It reminds me of if you saw the episode, I forgot what I was working on now. Oh, I was working on one of the Nico tops. It was, one of those. I was basically working on my serger, and I was trying to change out the thread. And I was like, I'm hoping we can do this the easy way. But of course, that's not how it panned out. And I had to get under the hood of my serger and, do a little troubleshooting. But it really worked out. And then somebody commented and was like, thank you so much for like showing me like the process of threading the machine. And I was like, I'm glad that could be a benefit to someone. Okay. Girl, sometimes it's perfection that takes time, and then just sometimes things take time. And that's just it. Okay. I'm still just a wee bit congested. Not like I was, but still got a little stuff, you know. But other than that, I'm good. Oh no. Okay. Y'all, I'm getting errors. So I hope y'all can still see me and hear me okay. I won't know till later. So there is that. Okay. I think I'm gonna, for real this time, show y'all a different view. Um, okay. Okay, cool. So, the other side of this, can't really see that too well, but the other side of this, because generally when you're quilting stuff, you want to start like in the middle of your fabric, so not on one side or the other, so the layers won't really shift, you know, or they won't shift much. So the other side, excuse me, I had started on, and that's where the stitch was really wonky, and that's the one I was like, I just want to give up. So I don't want to start on that side. I'm gonna start on this side, um, because there's hope on this side. So that's where we're gonna start. Just it's like a giving, like a fresh start. Okay. Um, can I zoom in? Not so much. Okay. Can I bring this down? Okay. All right. I can bring it down. Let's see if you can see that. Uh, it's funny. I don't know how much you'll be able to really see, but know that I'm sewing by hand. um, but actually, my first few stitches, um, my first few like running stitches were really nice because I had used like my little chalk pencil thing and traced it out so it could be really pretty, and then I could just trace it with my um, basically trace the chalk line with my stitching. And then after that, I was like, I'm not doing this for every one of them. Um, so I don't care if it's looking imperfect, Like, plus, I just want to get this done. Basically, it just went from being very careful, starting out very, this whole project, very um, with a lot of excitement, and now I'm just like, give me my bag. The funny thing about this is like it doesn't even matter. Like it's gonna look cool either way. It's gonna be cool, one of a kind. It's gonna be very nice. But I may break up this monotony because I'm realizing that you're not gonna really be able to see anything, like at all. Um, so I may break up the monotony and just like start uh, ironing like my handles and those other pieces, because those I will definitely be sewing with a machine. I think I'm gonna have to incorporate my little thimbles because my hands are already starting to feel a little sore again. Just like my lead finger and my thumb. Okay, a little ASMR for you. I mean, y'all can't see nothing. Can't see my work. But somehow I feel like at least putting it down on the fabric is a little bit better than like showing like a full face of me right now. Okay, I can live with it. Maybe once I get out of this color, no, you still won't be able to see it well. Man, my weekend has just been, I haven't been doing anything, but that's been wonderful. I love a weekend with like no plans. I don't, have I been outside this weekend? That's not good. I feel like you should go outside every day. But I'll be honest, like after COVID, my like ability to stay inside for like days and days, man, that part of me got strong. I always knew I had the capability, the ability, because I'm an introvert. I think masquerade as an extrovert at times. I'm a true introvert, so I can only ooh, these stitches a little wonky. It's okay. Um, so people can what is the word? They can just wear me out. They're exhausting. People are exhausting. I love people though, but exhausting. Um, so I think that's part of the reason why too that I'm pretty. I'm not saying that I'm like really great behind a camera or in front of a camera, but I'm more comfortable that way. Okay, you know, honestly, ever since I just have to realize that once I didn't use my chalk lines anymore, my stuff's just gonna be wonky, and that's fine. It's character, is what we like to call it. But if I can have this done the next time I see y'all, oof, I would be so proud. Okay, come on, girl, finish the row. Y'all ever make sewing plans and you, because planning to me is fun. That's really the fun part. All the planning, it's the doing. Because it's not that you can't. For me, it's just really kind of finding the time, and once I find the time, it's committing to that time. That's the part that's like, oof, ooh, child. Um, but I, a lot of times, will have so many great ideas and so many plans, which again is so much fun to like think up, dream up. You know, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. But then sometimes, if I have thought of too many plans, I go into overwhelm, and then I just sit there quietly. It's okay. I have a lot of plans, but uh, how do you eat an elephant? You know, one bite at a time. But who wants to eat an elephant? You know what I'm saying? Besides the point. Okay, okay. I feel like I'm on a semi roll. A lot of times you just need to get a little, just need to get warmed up, you know? Um, okay. I'm starting to feel a little energized again. Believing in myself again. Myself in this project. Mm. I always believed in you, though. Just know that. These, I think my attitude also started changing once I put these things on. Um, yeah, it's just so much easier to me. I also kind of like these because you can kind of adjust them in the back. Um, Amazon, of course, like where we all get all of our things, but still very helpful. I guess the nice thing too, and why you use a needle that's so long, is because you can really kind of get a few good stitches going. Every time you make a pass, which is nice. But I don't always work with African wax prints, but I bought quite a few of them. I was about to say last year, but it may have been the year before. And then I just kind of didn't do anything with them. But usually the prints are like kind of larger than life, and I just really like all the juxtaposition of colors. Um, so that's why I was like, okay, but let's put this up a notch and put a couple of these next to each other and together, and just make something wild, you know, um, because I think it looks a little like okay, like um, when you just look at it flat like this. But I think once the sides come up together and it goes into like a bag, it's just really gonna look really chic. I'm tired of talking about it. I want to wear the bag. I want to talk about it. I want to be about it. But I have already thought about how like this bag will be awesome, but it's gonna be my last one like this. I think I would like to make another one that is quilted, um, but I think I want to run it through the sewing machine. I do not want to hand stitch it, even though I think the hand stitching makes it cooler. We'll see. I've I've contradicted myself before, so very possible I'll do it again. Another thing I forgot to mention and have kind of I haven't been forgetting to mention. It's just that I haven't started to work on these things. So, if you know anything about frog tails, um, let's see, how do I explain it? It's basically I feel like they do it mostly in the major cities. So, uh, DC, Atlanta. I think they had a Miami Frogtails. If that's not true, don't come at me. New York. But basically, it's like an event where a bunch of people who hand make their clothes, mostly sewists, I would say, um, hand make their clothes or make different things. It's like a night out that you get to like wear your me mades with other people that you've you know um, associated with or know of, like, or don't know of yet, in the like social media space, in the sewing social media space. Um, so it's kind of like getting that community together, like on a more local level. So people come from, if you don't live in like one of the major cities, obviously people come from maybe somewhere close by or not, um, or farther, and they attend these events, and it's just like a night out, an evening out to like just meet these cool people in person, show off something that you've made and you're wearing. So DC is having one, and it's coming up really soon now. And I bought a ticket, so I'm going. Do I know what I'm gonna wear? Absolutely not. Um, am I gonna make this y'all's problem? Yes, probably I will. Um, so I'm still trying to think of like what pattern to make. It's like basically a little under a month from now. I think it's February the 3rd. And today is January the 7th. Yeah, so I definitely got to get on it. Um, and yeah, I got to decide something quick because if I were smart, I would just use something in my stash. Knowing me, I'm probably going to want to order something, and we all know that takes time. But yeah, I don't know. I just said that out loud, so it's oh, I'm sorry. I'm not even in the camera anymore. I said that out loud just so like I'm holding myself accountable. Uh, but actually, I do have somebody that I work with. um, he's also going, and we've sewn together a couple times. He's come over, and uh, I forgot what our project was that we did. We were doing like not a bustier, a corset type thing, and we thought, oh, we were like, oh, we'll do this project. It should just, be like a one day. He thought it was going to take like 4 hours. I think I was under the impression, like, nah, I know this is going to take longer than that, you know? But when I tell you, I think, I forgot what time he came over, but I know it was like early afternoon. And he didn't leave. My roommate was already, like, had already, like, given up on me and fallen asleep. But I'm pretty sure he didn't leave till like midnight or later, probably like 1 a.m. And we had gotten to the point where we were doing the grommets, for like, first of all, this was just one of those because we did boning, um, and honestly, I just didn't even care if it fit or nothing. Um, I was kind of treating it like a twirl, and I think he was too. But I think we just wanted to like complete something. But there's a certain point in time when you're like, this isn't happening today. And not because we ain't great. It's just that things take time. Mm, and the grommets, though. And that was pretty much the only thing we had like left to do. But I am pretty sure to do that many grommets, though, especially with like one of those little handheld type things that those packs they come, they're like, oh, you could do this on your own, and you can either do it like with a hammer or like this little handheld clasp thing, and like that was awful, and it just took so much energy, and we were so tired. And then like, I'm sure, I know I never finished mine. I i may have i may have tossed it just because I was like, I was so burnt out after that. Um, and to be honest, it was like a project that he wanted to do, and I mean, I was like, you know what, cool, let's just sew something together. Like, I don't care. Let's just hang. But I was like, I'm never doing all these grommets because I just don't care about this that much. Um, the idea of wearing one of those just sounds awful. Yeah, but anyway, so that was our first and really only time that we've sewn together. But I would basically call him a sewing buddy, and he's local. So I know since then, because that was, ooh, maybe, dang, probably almost 2 years ago now. But since then, I know he's like gotten like two industrial machines. I don't know how much he sews, but he's like really excited. And then we both kind of like texted each other and we're like, okay, we know Frogtails is coming. We also know ourselves that we're both, procrastinators. We mean well, but Um, so okay, after the holiday, we're gonna work on this. And I was like, okay. We haven't texted each other since. That was last year, of course. So I'm gonna be the responsible one and text him and be like, hey, we need to meet up next weekend. So I don't think I'm gonna make it on. I'm gonna probably try to just put it back to me really quick. Probably try to meet up with him. Well, I gotta text him first to see when he's available, but probably try to meet up with him on Saturday. I don't want to like put him on blast and like be like, "Hey, join my slow sewing Sundays." I'll probably tell him about it. I've kind of kept this closeted, not because I'm ashamed in any way of this. It's just that I think I just wanted to make sure that I was actually gonna, do this on an actually. Okay, you're just a lot. Um, I just wanted to make sure that I was gonna do this kind of consistently. So I think that because I have reached that milestone, I'll probably let him know. Plus, this is just one of those things where it's just like I don't know if I were anybody watching this, I probably would never make it to the end unless it was just something that I was just keeping on to have like it make it feel like somebody else is in the room while I'm working. Anyway, I ramble, y'all. Ramble. So anyway, the whole point of this is by the time we actually start working on this, we're gonna have probably 2.5 weeks left. About maybe 3 weeks. Yeah. So I don't know what we're gonna do, but it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fun. I think actually we're probably gonna end up going to his sewing space because I think his space is just bigger, and I'm excited to like work on like like an actual industrial sewing machine again. So that sounds fun to me. Um, but what I'm gonna do, I don't know. Plus, it's like, it's if the Frogtails were in spring or summer, you know, I feel like I would have more ideas. But because it's winter, I'm like, do I need to really do something with like sleeves or that's long or does it have to be warm? I mean, I guess that's what coats and jackets are for, but I don't know. I'm just a spring summer gal, you know. Mm. So anyway, so that's on the horizon because it has to be. Um, you know what? Technically, though, I guess the dress that I'm working on. Let me remind you. Let me remind you what that is. So it's this dress. Um, I don't have a scrap of the fabric, but that's I don't know. This doesn't look very. I guess I could make it winter fall appropriate, but and then I have the Nico dresses. It's like I do have stuff that I could just wear. I think I'm just making this a little hard because now that I'm thinking about it, I just made a Nico dress that was like kind of the bodycon version that goes all the way down. but it's just basic black. So I'm just like, or really, really dark navy. So I'm just like, and I know he's gonna do something that's like more flare. So I'm just like, I want to be fun too. So I don't know. We'll see. Um, but I like mentioning stuff like that because when I'm talking about it, they're not really problems. They're just it's just something, you know. Ugh. Okay, so I've done one row in front of you guys. Um, it's not a lot, but it's progress. So um, let's take our win. And I think because we're still here, um, hmm, I could do that here, but all this is going on. So I think I'll bring this board and turn on my little iron, and I can at least iron out the handles in front of y'all. It's not exciting, but it's work, you know. It's honest work. Mm, yeah, so anyway, DC Frogtails, ooh, the tickets for that too aren't cheap. It was like $100. um, so that's why I'm like, I gotta go. I basically bought the ticket. I think it was like right after. I think they went on sale like right after Thanksgiving or something. So this is something I've had hush hush for a minute that I didn't tell anybody about. But see, it was then that I should have been thinking about like, what you gonna do? What you gonna make? Um, but I just thought I just had plenty of time, but I don't have much time. Especially the way I work. So I don't know. You can look it up on Instagram or anything like that, like the previous frog tales. Like I think I think all the frog tales are like individually run. So some amazing soul out of DC or souls out of DC have taken it upon themselves to like throw this one. They do the same thing in like any of the other cities, like Chicago, New York, whatever. So I think it's all very individualized. So I think you can probably look up DC Frog Tales, New York Frog, whatever, um, and see what other people have made, and like it. But all the pictures that I've seen just look like a really good time, and it's really cool to see some of the people that you've seen on social media that you follow within the sewing community, um, kind of together in one room, and then it's like, I'm in that community too. I want to meet these people, and hang out. So I am excited about it. But it's just like, what am I gonna wear? And then it just seems like this is just so important because it's like we all make things, so you want to like make sure you look pretty cool and nice. But it was like I was telling him, I was like, let's not put like super pressure on ourselves. You know, the wonderful thing about it is I think sometimes they have a theme, but this is no theme. So I feel like that's less pressure, but then at the same time, because there are no parameters, it's kind of like, it's like when somebody gives you like a blank piece of paper and you're like, great, I don't have any rules, but then it's like, where do I start? So that was a lot of nothing that I just spewed. Uh, but yeah, let me take you back to the worktop. Okay. All right. So here, um, I'm not really gonna do anything with uh this right now. I'm just not even gonna bother to. This is the lining, so I'm not gonna bother to iron this yet. Just no point because I'm just gonna keep it folded until I really need it. Until I'm finished with all the hand quilting for the body. But this I can do now. So these are the handles, and I've decided, man, these are kind of short. No, 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 these are fine. Wait, are they? Oh man. You know when you've done something a long time ago? These do look short. Whatever. I'm gonna roll with this right now because I can't, you know? Uh, but yeah, I don't know why these look a little short to me right now. I'm trying to like, well, I mean, it's not a purse. It's fine. Um, this will do. So anyway, for the handles, the couple times that I've done this, obviously iron, 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 iron flat, and then I think I will be doing it in half, and then, is this too thin? No, that should be fine. Especially too, it's could do that. I kind of want like a thicker feeling um, handle. So that's the thing too. Like, come up with these plans like nearly a year ago now, and then I don't even know her anymore. You know, who was Raven from a year ago? I don't know. Okay. Um, so I'll do out my original plan. I will do it in half. And then I'll make it meet. I'll make the both sides meet in the middle, and then sew down the sides. I'll show you what I mean because I don't think that voice tracked well. Do I have any water in this? No. It's okay. So you can't see it, but there's a seam basically, where I had ironed it half. So I'm just going to make both sides meet in the middle. So basically the ends of this, the unfinished edges, are encased. And I'll fold it again at the where I originally folded it, and boom, iron it or press it, and then I'll put a stitch on this side and a stitch on the other side, and that will be my handle. I'll do that all the way down. So technically, I mean, if especially if you're not quilting this bag, if you're not quilting this bag and you have the pieces all cut out, it's actually a pretty quick sew. Me, I like to make my life hard. So, because I've decided to quilt this, it has just made this so long, so much longer. Bada bing, bada boom. You have to be a special person to. That's why my parents will actually watch these all the way through, but I can't see anybody else because you have to be a special person to put up with a personality like this. Just doing random sewing things in front of you. Okay. Ooh, child, I can hear my stomach growling. Quiet storm. Okay. So that is. Hold on. So that's one. And again, I'll put a seam down on each side. Yeah, actually, no, that's a decent size handle. And because it's folded like 4 times, or wait, one, two, yeah, like folded in, so folded in twice, but 4 layers. Four, yeah, 4 layers. It's it's it feels sturdy, especially once I get both seams down. But anywho, gonna obviously do that on the other side. And yeah, that'll be my handles. So I feel like just a little closer, you guys. A little closer, but oh, I don't think y'all can hear it. But there's a thunderstorm going on in my stomach. And I'm gonna need to tend to that. Plus, oh my God, I can't stand you. Plus, I, uh, it's been about an hour, and that's like I said. I know y'all already have had enough, but I can't even stand myself past about an hour, so I'm gonna have to go. But look, as always, had a blast. Let me turn this off right now. This iron before I forget. Had a great time. If nothing else, if I don't sew all week, this at least ensures that I touch my sewing machine at least once a week. And to be honest, I think that's a good resolution in itself. There have just been way too many um, way too many times that I've been too far away from like my sewing projects or my sewing machine, and I'll think about it and then not do it. But this at least gives me 1 hour a week at least that I'm focused on a project and focused on things that aren't work or other adulting things that I have to do. Plus, my parents get to see me, so that's good. They look forward to these. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna get some food. If you haven't, you should too. I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but food's always good. But anyway, thanks for joining another one of these. I will see you all next week on the next episode of Slow Sewing Sundays. Hopefully, I will have more about DC Frogtails and what I'm working on. I need to have a game plan by then. So yeah. So stay tuned for all of that. Anyway, bye y'all. See you next time.